Hello, basketball fans. It's me, DC, and I'm back to help you get ready for your fantasy basketball season. We're here in a new location. I have a new studio, but unfortunately it's so new, I don't have things on the walls, so you guys will miss the Bob's Burgers icons and stuff, but they'll be back. I'll get it ready. Hopefully the echo's not too bad in here because I'm still filling it because I'm still moving in. But the preseason has started, which means the channel needs to start back up. We're going to ease into it by breaking down the NBA schedule for the whole season, just from a high level. Now, I want to caution, don't put too much weight on what the playoffs are going to mean for this. Let's go ahead and bring up the grid here, right? So here it is. Here's the full season grid. Everyone's got 82 games. If you look at the bottom, I've got a spot for, if you're in a head-to-head league, for your head-to-head opponents. Why do I have it there? It's so you can fill in who you're going to play each of those weeks once your season starts so that you can be aware of it during trades. We can talk about more during trade season, but the idea is, you know, we go ahead and look at week 8, San Antonio's got 5 games. If you're in a head-to-head, you definitely don't want to be trading your Spurs to your opponent and then he gets to use 5 games against you. That'd be a bummer. So it's something to be aware of. You can save a copy of this Google Sheet as your own worksheet, and then we'll have it to kind of reference throughout the season. I'm going to bring down the grid here, make it a little smaller. Another thing, if you've played before, you're probably aware of this. If not, welcome to Fantasy Basketball. Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe. Weeks 18 and 19 are the AllStar Break weeks, right? So they're shortened weeks. On Yahoo and ESPN, they will be combined into one week. My grid will refer to the entire season by the week of the NBA. So I will always call it week 18 and week 19. If you look at it on an ESPN grid, they just call it week 18 because it's the fantasy week 18. I will not do that because not all formats use this method, right? I use the NBA's weeks so that we can all be talking the same, and you'll have to remember it. I've got the box around it signifying it. An extra level of detail if you're in a weekly lock league for ESPN, unless they've changed it and their support doesn't show any different yet. When that week locks, it all counts and you can't make any changes. So just know that. For Yahoo, it operates differently. Even though it counts as 1 week, you can actually make changes. So we've got Cleveland here with only 1 game. If you wanted to sit someone for the first half of that week and then sub back in your Cleveland player because he's got 2 games the next week, that's doable. It's a little edgy to have on Yahoo. That's not on ESPN. But this only applies to weekly lock leagues. If you're in daily change, just remember they're locked together and my numbers might not align when we get to the end of the season. Overall, this grid has 82 games and it could feel like here's everything. It's going to matter as we go down. Why are we talking about it now? Well, a big thing people talk about is what do our playoff schedules look like? So in the comments right now, while I'm still talking, please take a moment or pause the video if you got to go check your league. Please tell me when your playoffs are. I want to get a handle on what we're talking about as a community. So even if someone has already posted that, reply with that of like, yep, mine are the same or whatever. If you can use dates, great. So I know that we're not having a weekly misaligned. But I will make a tab playoff worksheet for every single format that someone replies. There's going to be a whole bunch of tabs down there. I've already got 2 of them set up for the like ESPN default. And if you lop off the last week, which please, I beg you, if you haven't started yet, talk to your commish. If you're the commish, get rid of at least the last week of the season when people are resting to get ready for the playoffs, or say, I don't know, hypothetically, the Wizards are totally out of the running or something and Beal's just sitting. I'm making that up. It's probably not going to happen, but it's infuriating to like be in the playoffs, in the finals, and you're down a guy because his team's too good. He's just not playing. It's not worth it. Cut your season a little short. Anyway, for the rest of this example, I'm going to use my playoffs from main league, which is 1 week matchups in the playoffs. We go for 3 weeks. So we end in week 23 this season. We're going to lop off the last 2 weeks. Here you go. You can take a look. So a couple things to consider, but with all of this, I really, really want to say it. It's good to know this and have a handle on it. Don't let this run your draft. You want to pick the best players that you think have the best opportunity for minutes, for health, that they're going to grow, that they're going to explode, the players that you want to root for. Don't overthink this. Just like I want to talk about this to set a base level so that we're all ready to go into the season educated, but try not to drive yourself crazy. When we look at a full season, everyone's got 82 games, right? I've lopped off the last 2 weeks in the leagues I run. And so this is set up here. Not everyone will have that. But if I did, that starts to affect how many games everyone plays, which does affect value. So if you take a look, Minnesota's got 76 games. That means compared to some teams, they have 2 more games. Is that value? Sure, but you don't know anyone's health status, right? If I get Anthony Edwards, if I get Cat, and then he misses games throughout the season, did I really get a return on those 2 games versus someone stayed healthy the entire time in Miami? No. So don't move heaven and earth to take this into effect, think you're getting that edge. Just kind of be aware of these things. The next thing that really comes up, and I think people do overweight, it's going ahead and looking at the playoffs. Now, I'm going to talk about this when we get towards the fantasy trade deadline. If you've got people with bad playoff schedules and you're getting to the trade deadline, you want to start moving it, especially if someone else doesn't know what's happening. It's the biggest edge you can get to win. But when you're going into the draft, it's not. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Clippers. They've got a pretty bad playoff schedule here in this video. So they play 4, 3, and then 2. It declines. They get 2 games in the championship. That's no fun. He's in a weekly lock league, probably unusable completely. In a daily change league, if you've got Paul George, we're talking, he's going right at the end of the first round, right? At least that's where I have him rated. We're talking picks 12 through 14 is maybe it's the start of the second round. You're going to take your top pick and then you're not even going to be able to use them in your finals matchup. That's really scary. But you don't want to oh, okay, Utah's got 4 games every week. This is great. I'm going to grab Donovan Mitchell here. I'm going to grab Rudy Gobert. You do that, you've lost all the value of it because you've reached down at the end of a second round, mid third round player and pulled him up into the start of the second round. That's not the way to work for this. That's people overreacting. And I really don't want you to do that. Now you could use it to split hairs. That could be a wise decision. So if you say, yeah, Paul George, the finals week, that scares me and I want to make a different move. So who's around there in the draft that you feel more comfortable with? Oh, Jason Tatum. Similar position. I like Tatum. And look, Boston's got 3-3-3. It's not ideal for the playoffs, but I can use them more in the finals. It's more balanced. That's not scary to me. Overall, both guys still only have 9 games. And you have to make it to the finals before it matters that he only has 2 games in the finals. So if you're edging it to just move 1 game out of the first week of the playoffs to the end, I think we're overthinking it. Now, if you want Tatum over PG, I get it. You don't have to take Paul George there. In fact, I think I would take Tatum over Paul George. But, I want to be aware of these things. Now, if you were splitting hairs and you looked at both of those and you also have Anthony Davis in the same range of your draft, we're talking right there at the end of the first, right? Well, the Lakers have 11 games in the playoffs. They get 4-4-3. So you get 2 whole extra games. There is an actual advantage there, but you don't know what's going to come in the draft. And I think having your rankings, maybe weighting it is okay, but you could drive yourself crazy and end up with this hairline. Oh, I got to move this guy up because of the finals and this in the playoffs. And then someone blows out a knee in week 2 and it doesn't matter anyway. We take this information, make the best play we can, but we don't know what the cards are going to do, right? It's just like playing poker. You play the smart moves and then luck is going to be involved in this. So don't over stress it yet. But this worksheet is going to be helpful all season long. We're going to build our attacks off of it. We're going to get to talk about overall quality games. We'll look at that because VP requested it on Twitter, which is awesome. Thanks, VP. And we'll keep doing this all season long, breaking it down. Please leave a comment about what your playoff schedule is. Leave a comment about anything you want me to tackle here in the preseason. We're talking sleepers, breakout players, quality games, best league rules, funniest league rules, anything you guys want. Leave it in the comments. Love it. We've got 2 weeks and we're going to be watching actual games that matter. And I'll be here for the rest of the preseason and all season long to help you go out and win your league. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. It helps me grow the channel. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe or even the little bell will give you alerts. And I'll be back soon with another video for you.